This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitsky. We begin with a man dead following an early morning stabbing. Police are now investigating the death as a homicide. Now, according to Bakersfield police, it happened around 2:50 this morning near the corner of Ming Avenue and South H Street. Officers say they found a man with multiple stab wounds in the alleyway. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The victim's identity will be released at a later date. Meantime, police are searching for the suspect or suspects involved in this fatal stabbing. Call BPD at 327-7111 if you have any information. Well, 2 people were shot last night in Lamont. The shooter is still on the run this afternoon. Now, the Kern County Sheriff's Office says the shooting happened just after 8 p.m. on School Street near Elmco Avenue. Deputies found 2 men with gunshot wounds. They were both taken to the hospital. 1 victim remains in critical condition, the other in stable. Deputies described the suspect as 4 men who were in a black sedan. All right, now to pedestrian safety in Kern County. We now know the name of the person killed after running onto Highway 99 late Monday night. Now, it happened just after 11 on northbound Highway 99 north of California Avenue. The California Highway Patrol says 40-year-old Micah Jason Howard was hit by several vehicles, and none of the motorists involved were under the influence of drugs or alcohol. By our count, this is the 15th pedestrian fatality this year. Meantime, from our 17 follow-up file, it's been 163 days since 2 California City boys were reported missing. The Bakersfield Police Department reassuring the public that this is not a cold case. 4-year-old Oren and 3-year-old Orson West disappeared back in December. The Bakersfield Police Department is the lead agency in charge of the search and investigation. Now, Police Chief Greg Terry joined us this morning explaining where they are at in this investigation.
We don't know what happened to them. And because we don't know, we're looking at everything. We're looking at what was reported, when it was reported, what was going on in the days, weeks, months leading up to that date. Is that the date that they were missing? We just don't know. And because we don't know, we're looking at everything, and we will not stop until we know what happened to these young boys.
BPD announced yesterday that up until this point, the department has seized 170 items as possible evidence, conducted 44 search warrants, led 16 mass area searches, in addition to 3 searches outside of California. BPD has received more than 200 tips. Meantime, there's a reward of $125,000 for information leading to the boys. If you have information, call the Secret Witness Hotline at 322-4040. Now to our daily coronavirus update in Kern County. Public Health reported 41 COVID-19 cases today and 5 new deaths. 1,394 people have died from the virus since the beginning of the pandemic. The state reports 43 people are hospitalized with more severe symptoms of the virus, and 9 of them are being treated in area intensive care units. Well, KGET is partnering with Bakersfield College and the United Against COVID-19 Coalition to get more Kern County residents vaccinated. Now, tomorrow we'll be hosting a free vaccine clinic outside of our KGET studios. It's happening from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the corner of 22nd and M Streets, also known as Compassion Corner. Kern Medical will be on hand to administer both the Johnson & Johnson vaccines and the Pfizer vaccine. Now, the first 500 who show up will receive free tacos and a box of food courtesy of KPAC. Now, to register, you can visit myturn.ca.gov or call the United Against COVID-19 Coalition at 383-2588. And Adventist Health is partnering with the McFarland Unified School District and the Kern County Latino COVID Task Force to host a free COVID-19 vaccine clinic tomorrow. It's happening from noon to 3 p.m. at the McFarland Junior High School. They'll be providing the Pfizer vaccine, which is available for those 12 and older. Walk-ups are welcome.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Well, Anheuser-Busch is taking an active role in helping the nation recover from the pandemic, and they say they're teaming up with the White House to do just that. Now, the company wants as many people as possible to get the vaccine by July 4th. So when the nation hits the White House goal of 70% of adults partially vaccinated, Anheuser-Busch is planning to buy everyone 21 years and older around. The company says this will be the biggest beer giveaway in its history. All adults 21 and older just have to upload a picture of themselves in their favorite place to have a beer to enter in to get that free Anheuser-Busch beverage of their choice. Well, tonight, the Bakersfield City Council is set to discuss affordable housing and increasing recycling rates. Now, council members will meet to consider the final component of the Baker Street revitalization plan. They will focus on the Renaissance at Bakersfield. It's an affordable housing project that includes 85 units and 5,000 square feet of commercial space. In total, the project is expected to cost more than $44 million. And council members will also discuss increasing recycling rates within city limits by 5%. City leaders cite increased costs in operations, equipment, and maintenance in its own hauling and recycling operations. The fees have increased only 6 times in the last 12 years. Meantime, the Wasco mayor and city council last night approved an employment agreement with Scott Hurlbert as Wasco's new city manager. This after last month's resignation of Daniel Ortiz Hernandez, who held the position for 3 years. Hurlbert, a Shafter native, will begin his role on July 2nd. Time now 12:06, and in education news, the embattled Fairfax School District Board of Trustees will meet tonight in a closed session less than 1 week after a scathing grand jury report rebuked the board. Now, the board will meet at 6 p.m. at district headquarters in Southeast Bakersfield to discuss the qualifications of job candidates applying for the superintendent's job. Last week, the Kern County grand jury released a report calling the board, quote, divided and dysfunctional, noting the board has violated its own bylaws and ethic laws in the past. Among several recommendations, the grand jury said the boards should hire a conflict resolution specialist, allow easier public access at meetings, and the grand jury called on the board to remove board president Palmer Mullen by June 30th. Community members have been calling for Mullen's resignation for weeks. And meantime, a grand jury indicts multiple people connected to a Bakersfield vocational school for alleged insurance fraud. According to the grand jury report, 7 people were charged with reportedly stealing more than $100,000 in benefits meant to help injured workers. Those 7 are accused of sending false or misleading information to 20 separate insurance companies, saying the injured workers were eligible to receive the money despite not reaching the minimum requirements for the program. That next hearing is set for June 11th. And Bakersfield College is holding a virtual one-day enrollment event for new and returning students. It's happening right now until 8 p.m. BC counselors and staff will be available to help students with applying for financial aid, designing an education plan, and registering for classes. To sign up for a session, we have the link on our website, kget.com. Well, today marks the last day to give our homeless community a helping hand through our Shoes for Our Homeless drive. You can bring your new or gently used shoes directly to the Guarantee Shoe Center near the intersection of 21st and Chester Avenue. You can also drop off shoes at the lobby of the KGET studios right here at Compassion Corner. Shoes collected will be donated to the Bakersfield Homeless Center. Meantime, the M Street Navigation Center says it is in need of clothing donations for new and existing residents. The center says it specifically needs donations of men's underwear sizes XL through 5X, women's underwear, sports bras of all sizes, unisex socks, slippers, and flip-flops. Donations can be dropped off at the center located at 2900 M Street on Fridays between 1 to 5 p.m. Adult men and women who reside at the shelter receive assistance with mental and physical health issues, employment, housing, and more. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.